Alright, today I have something really cool here. I don't know the exact history of this, but I have an idea. And this has something to do with the picture in the background. I've teased this for a little while. Very heavy item. You would not believe how heavy it is. It's about the size of a large belt buckle, if that gives you some sort of reference. You know, kind of one of those 70s era type of belt buckles, 70s, early 80s era belt buckles. And, you know, when we talk about sports collecting and the different avenues that we branch off of that, you know, and the rabbit holes we go down, some of these rabbit holes essentially are untapped wealth of information. So I did my homework on this particular item, but, you know, I said, you know what, that's ending in a week here, let's just put a bid on here, and if I don't win it, I don't win it. I put in an extra $2 and I won it for a whopping $10. This item for $10. That was the minimum bid. And nobody else had bothered me. Nobody else had, you know, but if it's an item that you see for sale somewhere else, if there's another one out there, because I could not even tell you if there's actually another one of these out there. But the thing is that this particular item could easily be $100, because where are you going to find another one? That's what the people in the groups that I follow, where are you going to find another one? So I'll show you the item in just a second here. But, you know, once I had a bid on the auction, I did a little bit more homework. You go to Google, YouTube, and all the different sources, and you say, okay, you put in everything in quotes to try to get here and here and here, and you find either very little or nothing, and then all of a sudden you say, well, let's just try this with quotes or out quotes, or just do this in this one frame, and then all of a sudden crazy amounts of information just show up everywhere, and then it just kind of, your eyes start opening, and the item becomes more fantastic and more fantastic and more fantastic. So this is a medal, a very heavy medal, an award that was not given out to anybody. So when I did my homework on here, I believe, and I'm not 100% sure, take it out of the plastic slip that it was put into here. This is a numismatics company that sells through eBay that I bought this from. I will try to not to touch it as much as possible. I think this was a sample from the collection. So well, I'll get into that in just a second here, but I'll show you. It's very super heavy. But I have the National Educational Television Award for Excellence. Now everything I'm going to be showing you here in this particular video will try to do some still images and some video footage towards the end. But if you don't know, NET/National Educational Television was PBS before it was PBS. And essentially it started circa 1954. So you think, oh, PBS started, you know, 60s, 70s with Sesame Street. No, it was 10 years or more before that. And on the back of this, will give you a little closer look of it here. It just NET with that same little roof line, kind of reminds me of the insurance commercials for farmers, or that house roof that they're showing you. Or State Farm, I'm sorry, State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I think it's the house roof. You know, farmers or state, anyway. And then it's the award for excellence. So I'm trying to figure out what this was given to. Was this given to stations? Was this given to individuals? And then on the back of it, and that's why I said it was part of a collection, maybe a sample, because this is for individual, so individual, that's a person, contribution to outstanding television programming. Now, this is not even awarded to anybody, so this was like a sample, I believe, that the Medallic Arts Company, so it's MACO, M-A-C-O, and I believe that's where it came from. And the Medallic Arts Company has been around for a very long time. I'm not sure if it was the early 20th century or the 1800s, but they had made awards for lots and lots of different people for a very long time, and it was up until the late 2010s or 2011s or so, everything got dispersed and sold off, and a lot of their archives have gone to the other venues. So I believe that this was probably the sample for their archives. And I was able to find a YouTube video that pointed me in the direction to a list, a checklist, if you will. They said it's always changing and whatever, and it has a list of all the different Medallic Arts things, and here is a Google page. So just type in MACO Medallic Award, and you get hundreds, if not thousands, of images of all the different awards that they have produced over the years. And many of these are probably in their, Pacific archives. So this actually does have some sort of provenance without actually needing a certificate of authenticity. Now this award is even more special than you and I might have even thought it was. So if this came from their original archives, and it was not, and it was provable to that particular archives, this might be able to go for even more. It's never been awarded to anybody there. So it's kind of like their display piece sample for their own archives. You watch American Pickers, and they were able to get stuff from people's, archive. This is the sample that would have gone out to different people, and then would have been sort of thing there. But what's even cooler here is I found this, and I was like, what is this? So I found Jim Henson's Red Book. I was like, whoa, Jim Henson? He was the creator of the Muppets and Sesame Street and all that stuff. But what's interesting is you didn't know about Jim Henson is he worked with NET Television. He has been in television since the 50s or so. So everybody said, oh yeah, 70s, 80s, Jim Henson, boom, there he is. No, he had been working, doing puppetry and all kinds of things way, way, way before. Way, way back in the old days. And this is his documentary. And he was talking about Channel 13 auction here. Do a Channel 13 auction. And it says, the program won Jim an NET Award for Excellence. So guess what I have? I have the same similar type of award that could have been awarded to Jim Henson. And again, this is heavy. It needs a proper display case or stand to show, show off both sides of it, and prominently display this somewhere with not getting too dusty. A very, very amazing piece there. So theoretically, if this was a leftover that was never sent out or what have you, this could have been something very similar that was sent out to Jim Henson or awarded to him, and a very prestigious award at some point in time. For me to have the identical award that Jim Henson, now not this particular shape or size or everything, but see, he got his for, guess what, Sesame Street. Yes, Sesame Street, I believe in '69. Now the archives that I found, MACO archives, you can look it up online, maybe it's a little difficult to find. I was able to figure out that this NET National Education Award for Excellence, I believe is from 1965. That's my closest guess of what they said is 1965. Now, how many times over did they, again, I still have a lot of crazy homework to do, and that's a neat thing about showing stuff on YouTube is that the research, once the video is done, the research is not over. I might have even more special thing. Again, one of these things is that, when people pass on that are maybe famous but not super famous, is his NET award in his archives, the Henson Properties who owns all this stuff, or maybe he didn't hang on to it or somebody didn't deem it valuable, and other people that got this particular award, we don't know if they were awarded to hundreds of people or thousands of people or just a couple people. We don't know, again, but it's very, very heavy. You can see it's thick like a belt buckle without being a belt buckle. And again, for individual contribution to outstanding television programming. So this particular award could have been the exact same one that was produced year after year after year. I'm sorry it doesn't shine up very well there, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to leave it exactly the way it is. And so very, very interesting there. So now I've got a Jim Henson connection there, so I can follow the Henson rabbit hole. I will do a few other things here. I wasn't prepared to make this video, but we'll do the best we can. So it's interesting that all these different, of course, worth point. Now, again, if you can find out the provenance of the ones that have been awarded to people, that might be worth way more than the ones that were never awarded to people. See, if I just type in NET, type this here, I'll see if I can do this here, and I'll just make a short video here, because again, this is not for everybody, but every time somebody does a rabbit hole through the baseball card community, I want to see what I can do, whether it's a photograph or this or this, and it's really amazing that I got something that no one else would probably ever could get or ever have, unless it was directly awarded to you. and again, the extra ones could have been melted down into new metals. We don't know. But my guess is it was from 1965, and I said this is the award for excellence, and you never know, it may not show up. And there could be even a picture of Jim Henson's award somewhere for NET Excellence. So we just have excellence in broadcasting and all kinds of Eagle Awards. And so, no, that's not going to show up there. So this is super, super rare. And it's very, very difficult to find any information. But now I've got the Henson connection, which is absolutely amazing and stupendous. And you saw my screen here. So if you didn't know, and again, one of the reasons why a lot of people love these television logo compilations, whether it's NBC, CBS, PBS, what have you. They love these things because we're in a world where we're going from one project to the next one before we've even finished. When I had cable television, I really noticed this. I say cable television, but you would get one show, you'd be watching a rerun of, How I Met Your Mother or something like that. Then the show would not show the credits. It would be very squeezed tiny, and they would be into the next show. So everybody that worked on that show, all of their accreditation does not get, showcased. So we're already doing the theme song, or we've even skipped the theme song in the next show. So I don't get, the PBS logo scooting by or whatever at the end of the show. We miss that. So, like Cheers, and I mentioned in Cheers many, many times over. Cheers and many shows done by the Burroughs guys or whoever, Charles and Glenn or Glenn Charles and Mr. Burroughs or whatever, the company, whatever company that was. They were famous for a lot of their television shows. I think they also did MASH. You could see every person that guest starred in that thing and all the different credits for different people, and you could screen capture that stuff and know exactly when that stuff, people were in a show and that sort of thing. Now we just don't even know or care. We have to do an internet search to figure out who was in that show. And it's, a little capture and moment in time there. And so we go from the show, then we go to the theme song. Sometimes the announcer would come over and, oh man, I wanted to hear that Dukes of Hazzard theme song, and see the Warner Brothers logo where, the guy was laughing, Roscoe P. Coltrane was laughing at the end of it or something. Those things. We wanted to hear those. Then we're ready for the next show, but not until the 100% finished up here. But all of these logos are very, very prominent, and I guess that's a thing that just doesn't happen today. And we just, we missed that. One of the shows, I think it was Mad About You or some, remember which show it was, but they had, the racehorse announcer, and you could hear the hoof prints of the, it was like In-Front Productions or something. We would wait for that exact moment on television for that to show up. And people would wait for this NET logo to morph into the house and show the antenna. This is NET, the National Educational Television Network. Sometimes that precede the show and become after the show. It's just a lost piece of television history. We don't get to see all the cool stuff. Everybody was involved in that show. Somebody had to design this graphic, and it was used for a good 8 to 10 years before they went on to the next one, becoming public television in circa 1970, all that fun stuff. So what I'm going to do is try to take pictures of this award here. You could do your own homework, research, look up NET television on YouTube and find dozens and dozens and dozens of compilations. And it'll say, public television history from like 1954 to like 2020 or something like that, and then so on and so forth. And all of these are just borrowed stuff from other people that originally owned, so it's just, one of those kind of like, careful what you share sort of thing there, but it's pretty much okay to do so as long as you credit people that you think that need to be credited. It's just really amazing to have this thing. It doesn't look like much, but the history is just absolutely astounding when you find out that people like Jim Henson were awarded something almost nearly identical to this. How crazy is that? I just need to get a nice piece of wood and make a stand there or some sort of acrylic display holder. I gotta figure out if anybody has any ideas. Maybe I probably should throw this, and I had almost the perfect perfect display box for it yesterday, and I didn't buy it because I wasn't thinking that that could go in there. So I need to find like maybe a little shadow box. I think that would be the best thing so I can hang it on the wall. Very, very amazing piece of public television history that no one has except for me and the people that were awarded these particular trophies, sort of thing there. Very cool. Check out the Medallic Arts Company, and there's articles about how long they've been in business, the prestigious awards and medals that they made, commemoratives and things like that for different world leaders, different, anniversaries of, people that passed away, and it's just amazing, amazing world of stuff. And if you just happen to be the single lone bidder on something, you just might have a 101, an eBay 101, an actual 101. I have to do some more homework on this, but we are at 17 minutes, and thank you for watching.
This is NET, National Educational Television.
This is NET, the National Educational Television Network.